The movie starts with 4 family members including a man, Ki-taek, his wife, Chung-suk, his daughter, Ki-chung, and his son, Ki-woo. They have been living in a small basement. They have to struggle hard for their survival. Because their financial condition was poor. They used to make pizza boxes to run their house. But this job was not enough to fulfill the expenses of the house. One day Ki-woo's university friend visits his house. Giving a stone to Ki-woo, he says, "It is from my grandfather for you." This stone was usually special. And it was thought taking this stone that the possessor of this stone gains happiness with a twist of fate. Ki-woo shares his poor financial condition with his friend. His friend tells that he is leaving for a foreign in a matter of study. "You can teach English to that girl whom I used to educate." On it Ki-woo says, "I am not college going so they will not hire me." His friend says, "I will recommend you, only ask your sister to make a fake degree." Ki-woo's sister is a graphic designer so makes a degree for him. Then Ki-woo goes to that place for giving tuition. That house is big and beautiful. That family is aristocratically named Park. This family also consists 4 of members as husband and wife with their son and daughter. The daughter's name is Dahae. She comes under tutorship. There is also a maid who has been employed for a long time. He demonstrates himself and Dahae's mother also takes it with her daughter. Satisfying Ki-woo, she hires him. Then Ki-woo knows that her younger brother Dasong is fond of painting. They hired many teachers for it but no one continued. Ki-woo thinks that my sister is artistic so I suggest she be an art teacher. While talking to Dasong's mother, he says my cousin is artistic so I recommend you hire her. Hearing it, Dasong's mother agrees. And Ki-woo introduces her sister disguising her Jessica named girl. Real name is not told so that no one may detect their bloodline. Ki-chung disguises herself as Jessica and becomes the art teacher of that child. Impressing them, she also tells me that I am an art therapist. Now, both brother and sisters perform their job as a teacher of that brother and sisters. As Jessica takes her first class, then the owner of this house Kanafam also reaches there. He asks his driver to drop Jessica at her house. And he does as is told. The driver goes to drop Jessica off because it is too late. Jessica says to the driver, "You can drop me at the metro station." And the driver drops her there. Jessica, while sitting in a car, pulls a ruse to cast doubt on the driver's character. And the owner becomes part of the trick and he doubts that their driver has an affair with their son's art teacher. And he shares it with his wife. Then his wife asks Jessica about that night when she was dropped off by the driver. On it she says, "I got off at the metro station then a house." The owner of the house is satisfied saying her to leave. And after that, they fire their driver. Jessica does it to replace the driver with her father. Then she recommends that my father's brother Diver is an expert so you can hire them. Then she introduces her father calling him father's brother Driver. Her father also gets the job. In this way, the 3 of them as fathers, brothers, and sisters perform their job there. They work as unknown persons for one another so that their owners may not suspect considering them fathers, brothers, and sisters. Then we realize, Ki-woo and Dahae begin to like each other in this coaching class. Now Ki-woo and Ki-chung also want a job for their mother in that house. And for this purpose, they have to discharge the maid from the duties of this house. But it was not so easy. So they hit upon a plan. Any human being may have an allergy to peach fuzz. So they do the same and pour the peach fuzz on the maid when she is playing with the dog creating an allergic. And she goes to the hospital. Ki-woo's father also arrives there when she is there. He takes a selfie and includes a photo of her in it. Then he takes the house owner for shopping and tells them that he had seen a housemaid in the hospital. While selfieing, she was also captured in a photo. I have heard her reluctantly that she is suffering from tuberculosis. But his lady owner does not trust him. Then he sends a message to Ki-chung that we are reaching home within 3 minutes. Receiving the message, Ki-chung again pours the peach fuzz on the maid. And the maid starts coughing. Meanwhile, the lady owner reaches home. That maid throws the tissue paper in the dustbin after using it. Their driver moves to the dustbin where she has thrown tissue paper. Throwing sauce on tissue paper, he shows it to his lady owner. In such a way, the lady owner believes in her driver's words. And the maid is suffering from tuberculosis. Then the lady owner requests the driver to not mention your sir. he will be got angry. So they also dismiss the maid. And their driver introduces her wife as a cook to them. Finally, his wife is hired. They are now all four serving in a single family, which leaves no room for doubt. They were living there under the guise of deception, using fictitious names. There is now a change in their condition. Their precarious situation improves. They are getting a good deal with consistent food. Park's family decides to go on a picnic on their birthday of Daesung and go for it. After their departure, they all have been celebrating and enjoying a party. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. And the ex-maid is on the doorstep. She says, "My luggage has left here which I want to take." Chung-suk allows her to come inside, and she steps to the basement. That lady does not return even after a great time has passed. On it, Chung-suk goes to check on her. She is pushing a cupboard that is unmovable. Because a plate is stuck there. Chung-suk removes that plate, as a result cupboard is moved. There is a secret way under that cupboard that is leading downward. This maid goes there and there is a male who is her husband. She has hidden him here for the last 4.5 years. Park's family is unaware of it. Because the previously lived family does not tell them. And this lady knows everything about the secret way because she is working here for a long time. She has hidden her husband here because he is in debt. He will be killed if he does not pay for it. Then that maid requests Chung-suk to serve food to my husband in a week and a refrigerator is available. I will pay you in return. Chung-suk refuses to threaten her to call the police. On it, that lady pleads to not do it as such. And Chung-suk's husband, son, and daughter are hearing everything standing on the stairs. One of them stumbles and all are fallen before them. Seeing it, the maid makes a video in which Ki-woo's said words are recorded as "my father, my foot." It is known that they are family and they have got this job trickily. She threatens to send this video to the lady who owns this house, but Chung-suk begs her not to. She brings her husband to the ground floor and says them to stand and hands up. As they stand up, she also makes a video of them and their party table. They all four attack the husband and wife and delete that video, taking the mobile. Quarrel is being held among them, and suddenly the phone bell rings. Chung-suk picks up the phone and the lady owner is on the call. She tells us that trip is cancelled because of the heavy rain and that we are returning within 8 minutes. And she asks her to cook food. And they have to manage everything within 8 minutes in the house. During the call, they placed their hand on the mouth of the husband and wife. Afterward, they leave husband and wife in the basement, fastening them, and then begin to clean the house. And the family returns home after the exact 8 minutes. And they have cleaned the house. And Park family cannot think that what happened before their arrival. And they all hide. Taking food, the lady owner tells Chung-suk that once my son woke up on the birthday night. Then he had seen a ghost. But he is not a ghost but the husband of a maid. But they take him as a ghost. It is raining, and their son Daesung insists to sleep outside that night, so he camps. Daesung's father and mother sleep in the hall room so that they may keep an eye on him. They are both talking with each other lying on the sofa while Ki-woo, Ki-chung, and Ki-taek are hidden under the sofa. Their driver is Ki-taek and the owner of the house is telling her wife that he has an unbearable odor. He is speaking the truth because their living place is a waste area, so their all family members had a bad odor on their bodies and clothes. And they are hearing the whole conversation. They feel bad because Daesung had once said that my teacher has odor as in driver and maid. Then they think to change their towel and soap, but this odor is of their residence, not their body. And when they both sleep, they all come to their house basement, leaving the place of the sofa. It is raining heavily. They found their house filled with water as they reached their house. All water comes inside because of the opening of the window. And this place is not worth living in. Then they go to an area where most people are asleep. And they spend their night at that place. Ki-chung receives a call from the lady owner who invites her, saying that she should come as a teacher for the happiness of our kid. And she also invites her daughter's tutor Ki-woo. Then she goes to the market for shopping. And while sitting in the car, a strange odor comes from her driver, so she places her hand over her nose. And the driver is displeased with this reaction. Because he does not want such behaviors from people. His lady owner does not want to react, but she has to do as such. The party is being held while Ki-woo and his student Dahai are upstairs. And Ki-woo asks her, "Do you think we are among them?" On it, she says, yes, nodding. But they are not among them. And he thinks if the people of the basement come up, the whole secret will be revealed. And they have to lose their job. Thinking of it, he brings a given stone from his friend. Taking this stone, he goes to the basement at the place of the maid and her husband. Housemaid is dead before a night. Because when they are taking them to the basement, she tries to run upstairs. Chung-suk kicks her, consequently she falls dead. All 4 family members are unaware of it. Ki-woo reaches into the basement taking that stone in his hand. Stone is fallen by him, but he stealthily picks up that stone going there. He had come here aiming to kill both of them. So their secret may never reveal before them. Because he can take any risk for the safety of his life. He proceeds gradually. Maid's husband, who was free now, drags Ki-woo, wrapping the rope around his neck, and binds that rope at a place. And he lifts the same stone and is nearly to hit Ki-woo with the stone but does not hit. He runs from there but falls from the basement and returns. He injures himself badly. He reaches the party place and looks at Ki-chung, who is going to Daesung holding a cake. He immediately recognizes her. He stabs a knife in her chest, wounding her. Ki-chung's father presses her wound to lessen the blood flow. But her wound is deep. Chung-suk sees that he has attacked her daughter and moves towards him. There is a bitter quarrel between them. And Chung-suk kills that man during this fight. Now the house owner wants to take his key that is under that dead person. While taking that key, he feels an odor and places his hand on his mouth. When his driver observes him doing such, his facial expressions are changed. Getting angry, he takes a knife and attacks his owner. Ki-taek does it because his owner wanted the key so he may take his unconscious son to the hospital. On the other hand, his daughter is dying, but no one cares. Ki-taek looks at his owner, bewildered. He gets angry, so if he places his hand on his nose while taking the key from the ex-maid's husband. Because his body stinks in the same way as that person's, and he associates himself with that person. He now realizes that such people despise them. He attacks him because of this narrow-mindedness. Afterward, that driver disappeared. Ki-chung is no more, but Ki-woo is recovered but facing mental disorders. Then those mothers and sons are convicted of deception, fraud, and conspiracy. But the court releases them with no penalty, just giving instructions. The Parks sell their home to a German family. They are unaware of the house's history. And driver Ki-taek is still present in the basement. Because he hides here after killing his owner. And no one knows about it. And he conveys messages in the Morse code from flickering light that he is hidden here alive. Morse code is thought of as a signal which makes communication between 2 persons. It has the facility to send messages to others. He sends the message through that flickering light, clicking it on and off. He transmits a signal to his son. His son Ki-woo observes signals through binoculars at a distance. He decodes the received code and knows that his father is still alive in the same basement. And he regrets his act of killing the Park family's owner. He apologizes for going before his photo. Ki-woo says, "I will earn money and we will purchase the same house. And you must come up from the basement, we will wait for you there." It happens, Ki-woo purchases that house, and Ki-taek comes from the basement without any fear. He meets his family, but it is his imagination beyond reality. And the movie ends here.